Another day, another story. When Lily moved into her new house, she noticed strange noises coming from the basement. Every night, she heard scratching and tapping sounds coming from beneath the floorboards. At first, she thought it was just the pipes, but as the noises continued, she started to feel uneasy. One night, Lily decided to investigate. She grabbed a flashlight and made her way down the creaky basement stairs. The scratching sounds grew louder and more frantic as she descended. When she reached the bottom, she shone her flashlight around, but the room was empty. Suddenly, she felt a cold breeze brush past her neck. She spun around, but there was nothing there. Just as she turned back to the stairs, she heard a deep, raspy voice whisper her name. Lily froze in terror. She knew she was alone in the basement, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her. She slowly made her way back up the stairs, but as she climbed, she felt something grab her ankle and pull her back down. She screamed as she was dragged back into the dark basement. The scratching and tapping sounds grew louder and more insistent as Lily was pulled deeper into the shadows. She realized with horror that she was not alone in the basement after all. Lily struggled to break free from whatever was holding her, but it was too strong. She felt her feet being dragged across the cold, hard floor as she was pulled deeper into the darkness. As she was dragged along, she caught glimpses of shapes and shadows in the darkness, moving and slithering around her. She heard whispers and laughter, but she couldn't make out what they were saying. Finally, she was thrown into a large chamber. She stumbled to her feet and looked around. The room was lit by flickering candles, and it was filled with strange objects and symbols. She saw a figure looming in the shadows, and her heart raced as she realized that it was the source of the voices and the scratching sounds. The figure stepped out of the shadows, revealing itself to be a twisted and demonic creature with razor-sharp claws and glowing red eyes. It let out a blood-curdling roar and lunged at Lily, who screamed and tried to run, but it was too late. The creature caught her and lifted her off the ground with ease. It grinned and licked its lips as it prepared to feast on her flesh. Lily closed her eyes and prepared for the worst, but just as the creature was about to sink its teeth into her, she woke up, panting and covered in sweat. It was just a nightmare, she told herself, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was still lurking in the darkness, waiting for her to let her guard down. For the next few days, Lily tried to put the nightmare behind her. But the memory of the demonic creature and the strange symbols in the dark chamber stayed with her, haunting her every waking moment. One day, while she was exploring the basement again, she found a hidden door behind some old boxes. It was locked, but she managed to pry it open with a crowbar. Inside, she found a small room filled with books, scrolls, and strange artifacts. As she looked closer, she realized that they were all related to black magic and demon worship. Suddenly, she heard a sound behind her. She turned around and saw the same demonic creature from her nightmare standing in the doorway, its eyes glowing with hunger and malice. Lily tried to run, but the creature was too fast. It grabbed her and dragged her back into the hidden chamber. There, it revealed its true form, a powerful demon that had been imprisoned for centuries. It told Lily that it needed her help to break free from its prison and unleash chaos upon the world. Lily was terrified, but she knew that she had to stop the demon before it was too late. She searched through the artifacts and found a spell that could banish the demon back to its prison. With trembling hands, she recited the spell and watched as the demon was sucked back into the darkness. Lily collapsed to the ground, exhausted and relieved. She knew that she had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death, but she also knew that she could never forget what she had seen in the basement of her new home. After the incident, Lily decided to move out of the house as soon as possible. But before she left, she wanted to make sure that nobody else would ever fall victim to the demon's curse. She gathered all the artifacts and books from the hidden chamber and burned them in the backyard. She also contacted a local priest to perform a ritual to cleanse the house of any evil spirits. When the priest arrived, he immediately sensed the presence of something dark and malevolent in the basement. He performed the ritual, sprinkling holy water and chanting prayers, but as he did, the scratching and tapping sounds grew louder and more insistent. Suddenly, the ground began to shake, and the priest was thrown across the room. A dark cloud formed in the basement, and the scratching sounds turned into screams of anguish and pain. Lily knew that the demon had returned, and she had to act fast. She raced down to the basement and recited the banishing spell once more. The demon let out a deafening roar as it was sucked back into the darkness once again. Lily collapsed to the ground, exhausted and shaken. She knew that she had finally banished the demon for good, but the memory of the horrors she had witnessed in the basement would haunt her for the rest of her life. After the incident, Lily moved to a new city, hoping to start fresh and leave the horrors of the past behind her. She found a new home, a cozy apartment on the outskirts of the city, and started a new job. But despite her best efforts to move on, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was still following her. She had nightmares about the demon every night, and she heard strange noises and felt cold drafts in her new apartment. One night, she woke up to find the demon standing at the foot of her bed, its eyes glowing with malice. Lily was paralyzed with fear, but she knew that she couldn't let the demon win. She remembered the banishing spell that had saved her before and recited it once again. The demon let out a deafening roar, but this time, it disappeared into the darkness without a fight. Lily knew that she had finally defeated the demon for good, and she could finally start to live a normal life. But she also knew that she could never forget the horrors that she had faced, and she vowed to always be vigilant against the forces of darkness. Years went by, and Lily moved on with her life. She got married, had children, and built a successful career. But even on the happiest days, she knew that the demon was still out there somewhere, waiting for its next victim. And she knew that she would always be ready to face it, no matter what horrors lay ahead. Lily moved out of the house soon after the second encounter with the demon. She left the house behind, never to return again. But even though she had left the house, the memory of her experience stayed with her. She couldn't shake the feeling that the demon was still out there, waiting to be unleashed again. Lily spent years researching demonology and the occult, trying to understand what she had witnessed and how she could prevent it from happening again. She became an expert in the field and dedicated her life to helping others who were dealing with supernatural threats. Years later, she received a call from a family who had just moved into the same house where she had encountered the demon. They were experiencing strange phenomena and feared that their home was haunted. Lily knew that she had to act fast. She went to the house and performed a thorough investigation. She found a hidden room in the basement, just like the one she had found years ago. She quickly realized that the demon had somehow managed to escape from its prison and had returned to the house. Lily knew that she had to act fast to prevent the demon from causing any more harm. She recited the banishing spell once again, and the demon was sucked back into the darkness once more. Lily then performed a cleansing ritual to purify the house and ensure that the demon would never return. From that day on, the house remained free of any supernatural activity. And Lily knew that she had finally put an end to the curse that had haunted the house for centuries. She finally felt at peace, knowing that she had saved countless lives from the demonic threat that had once plagued her own. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more stories.